6 p.m. in Quen, in the Bamenda 3 subdivision, northwest region of Cameroon. Same time right here in Akwa Douala. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. First, our major stories. Blood continues to spill on our national highways. An accident involving a 7-seater interurban transport bus leaves 8 persons dead and 62 others injured. The incident occurred on the Chang Cliff, popularly known as La Falaise in Chang, on the Douala-Bafoussam Highway. The accident occurred earlier today. And in sports, the match between Cameroon and Namibia within the context of the qualifications of the Africa Cup of Nations will be played in Garoua, notably at the Rumde Archer Stadium. This is what emerged from the consultation with Prime Minister Chief Joseph John Gute and the players, that is the players of the senior men's football team. Those are major stories. Stay with us for details and more. Thank you so much for choosing Equinoxe Television for presentation. I am Immaculate Fogwe. At least 8 people have died and 62 others injured in an accident that occurred last night at the Chang Cliff, popularly known as La Falaise in Chang. Eyewitness accounts say the vehicle had a tire puncture while the driver was on top speed. Innocent Aze reports.
The Avenue 70-seater bus left Fumbot in the Nous division of the West region at about midnight, heading to Douala Littoral region. It ended its course on the Chang Cliff, commonly called La Falaise de Chang in French. A victim recounts that the bus suffered a tire puncture, which made the bus go out of the driver's control, despite his efforts. Unfortunately, he could not succeed to stop the vehicle. Survivors with injuries struggled to eject themselves from the bus through the windows. When I tried to come out of the bus, I felt a serious pain on my chest. I heard the driver screaming on the wheel. Others were crying for help. The victims, helped by passengers from other buses and surrounding residents, were rushed to the Chang Annex Regional Hospital. At 4 a.m. Wednesday morning, we received the victims of the Avenue bus accident. All the hospital staff woke up to grant urgent medical care. Statistics provided by the director of the Chang Annex Regional Hospital states that 62 passengers were injured, amongst them traumatized persons. 8 deaths were recorded. Among the injured victims, including over 10 children, 15 in a critical state were transported to Bafoussam for intense medical care. According to Daouda Shimoun, West Regional Delegate of Public Health, they immediately mobilized health teams at different public hospitals to take adequate care of the victims. Families of the deceased victims, mostly Muslims, rushed to get the corpses of their loved ones for burial.
Meantime, here in Douala, at one of the agencies of Avenue Voyage, youths or angry youths from the Nous division invaded the agency, saying enough of the accidents. The disgruntled young people say they have already lost many people who have boarded their buses this year. Our reporter Annabila spoke with some of the angry people at the Avenue Voyage agency situated at Bisenge, here in the city of Douala. Her report.
The angry population stormed the Avenue Voyage Transport Agency, expressing their discontentment after what they describe as frequent road accidents involving buses of the agency.
J'ai un petit frère qui veut se marier le 29 hier. Il était en route pour rentrer. Lui va en Kouloulou. Il a perdu la vie et laissant une femme.
The disgruntled youth say they are fed up with burying their loved ones.
C'est de trop. C'est de trop chaque année.
Most of them, indigenous of the Nous division, say enough is enough, as most of these road accidents are caused by human errors or overspeeding. They complain that just in the year 2024, at least 3 fatal road accidents involving buses of Avenue have led to the death of over 20 people.
Il y avait aussi une voiture de 19 places, elle a aussi fait l'accident au niveau de Bafoussam. Sur les 19 places, il y avait 15 morts.
Their reactions come after the most recent accident at La Falaise de Chang or the Chang Hill. The 70-seater bus left Fumbot for Douala. At least 8 people are reported dead and over 50 others injured.
Pour moi, j'ai vu 8 morts à moins si d'autres blessés meurent à l'hôpital, mais j'ai vu 8 morts avec des petits enfants.
The head of the Avenue Transport Agency in Douala condole with the bereaved families and say accidents can always happen. He adds that the driver was distracted by a truck.
Il a fini le falaise de Chang, il y a un camion qui l'est gêné. Donc, selon ce que ceux qui sont arrivés sur place nous disent.
This most recent accident comes on the heels of back to school, characterized by dense traffic on the highway. Vigilance thus is the watchword.
Staff lady Annabella reporting there. Still on our sad page, 3 children have died in a fire incident in Bamenda, chief town of the Northwest region. Their home was engulfed by flames last night at the Tanga neighborhood. The house caught fire while the children were asleep. We have details with Cedric Chakutio.
This is the cry of a man who lost everything: furniture, electronic equipment, but above all, his 3 children aged between 2 and 7 years old. Opposite to him are local residents devastated by the scene.
Hey!
We are behind the St. Joseph Cathedral in Mamkan, Mezam division of the Northwest region. According to local residents, the fire took place in the early hours of September 4th, 2024. The mother of the victims, having traveled a few days ago, would have left them under the surveillance of their elder brother, who was spared by the flames.
It will be around 3 o'clock for night. I will sleep around here and shout. I run come out to backside door.
I heard noise around 3 a.m. I went out and realized that the neighbor's house was on fire.
So we run as I knock the door, I just run the camera. One camera, some people they also sit enter for gate. So we start moving or try to protect me, cross go to some other side. Then we try to outside picking and because there's some 2 picking there. We see some 2 picking there and 1 girl with them.
We broke the wall to get in to save the children, but we unfortunately arrived late and we found that the 3 children were already dead. Their father, after spending a week in a local police station for fraud, will only return home to witness the tragedy.
I don't know this man. I don't know this man. Wait till me being over here. To hold me for sale for 1 week, I said, I don't know me, no nothing.
He points a finger at the person who had him locked up as being responsible for this.
I know they owe me ye. I know they owe ye. They don't can keep my trip to keep them.
An investigation has been opened to determine the root causes of this incident. The bodies were directly buried because of their condition.
And now we leave Bamenda to Adamawa, or precisely in Gaundari in the Adamawa region, where a 32-year-old man is currently being investigated by officers of the Judicial Police. He's accused of killing his 12-year-old niece, known as Aisha, after discovering that she had recognized him as one of those who robbed their family residence in Sabongari, a locality in Gaundari. Ese Luciliengu has more.
Shock and consternation grips the inhabitants of Sabongari, a locality in Gaundari in the Adamawa region, as 35-year-old man Omaru is suspected to have killed his nephew. According to investigations, the suspect used a knife to cut off the neck of his nephew. The tragic incident occurred on the night of 18th to the 19th of August 2024 at a family residence in the Sabongari locality where the little girl was on holidays.
D'un coup de fil, nous informons ceux que au quartier Sabongari Gare,
informed security forces of the Adamawa Judicial Police descended on the incident scene. On the scene, they discovered the mobile phone used by the alleged bandits to carry out the atrocities.
Et c'est y étant qu'on a retrouvé un téléphone portable.
Via the telephone and investigations launched, one of the suspects was arrested.
Nous a permis d'adresser des réquisitions aux opérateurs
During the reconstitution of facts in the presence of competent authorities, the suspect explains how he robbed the house, beginning from the kitchen and later to the room where the little girl was asleep. Unfortunately for her, that evening it was raining and no one could hear her cry. The 12-year-old Aisha Mariam was a class 5 pupil in primary school in Bayamgang in the Adamawa region.
Nous avons immédiatement, au cours de l'enquête, saisi le procureur de la République et notre hiérarchie policière.
While investigations continue to lay hands on one of the suspects still on the run, Commissioner Massa Zomo Matthew, head of the Judicial Police Adamawa region, calls on the population to collaborate and denounce atrocities carried out by men of the underworld.
Asia Luciliengu reporting there. Away from our human interest stories, now we bring you facts and only facts about the visit of the President of the National Communication Council to Equinoxe yesterday. Babla Jonathan clears the air on some misleading information propagated by state
that the players remain our ambassadors in the face of the world. At the end of the meeting with the players, the major resolution was that the match will be played in Garoua and the players will leave Yaoundé for Garoua after their last training session this Wednesday.
Sportsman Smajikan Gabriel reporting. And coming up next, our reporter Cedric Chakutio takes us to the city of Garoua, which is expected to host the Cameroon versus Namibia game come September 7th. His report.
The city of Garoua, which should host the match opposing Cameroon to Namibia on the 7th of September 2024, is in its usual routine, calm and peaceful. However, at the headquarters of the Northern Regional League, the federation's team are fully involved in their work, which is to provide Cameroonians entry tickets for Saturday match. To the head of the communication department at Fika Food, tickets for the match are already sold in Garoua.
Les billets sont en vente à Garoua, vous avez pu le constater. Vous aurez une caravane mobile aussi qui va sillonner les artères de la ville de Garoua. Ces tickets sont en vente.
Supporters of the Indomitable Lions have also started to obtain their entry tickets for the Cameroon-Namibia match.
Je suis venu
I came to buy my ticket for the match. Those who were still doubting if the match was to be played here now have the confirmation. I'm ready for the match. Here is my ticket.
On the
Fecafoot side, preparations are being refined. Everything is being put in place to allow the Lions deliver a great match against the brave warriors of Namibia. The operating teams of Fecafoot are doing their best so that things move smoothly before and during the match. We will be ready to answer any question relative to the match. The Namibian team is expected to arrive on September 4th in Cameroon. They will then go to Garwa, where a member of their delegation is preparing their arrival.
And now we take this advertorial. During its 6th edition of its career orientation program, pupils and students aged between 14 and 18 years old were trained with basic skills on financial management and personal development. The program, known as Aspire, launched by Prudential Beneficial Insurance, is expected to go a long way to equip participants with basic skills. Details in this advertorial.
Prudential Beneficial Insurance Family was excited to launch the 6th edition of its career guidance for pupils and students known as Aspire. Aspire is an annual ceremony which guides 100 children aged between 14 and 18-year-old, giving them essential financial knowledge and personal development skills for a promising future.
At Prudential Beneficial, one of our values is that the customer is the compass. And this event which we're having today, Aspire, the 6th edition, is just one of the ways to show to the public and also to remind people that everything we do is centered around the customer. We've been taking care of these children for many years, paying their fees, and we thought it wise to extend, to give them hope for the future, to help them build a better future.
SEP Aspire mainly supports the beneficiaries of clients having school education insurance solution, for which Prudential Beneficial Insurance paid out 777,602,844 francs.
Il s'agit en fait de la prise en charge des
This is the support of orphan children in the face of the annuity. The school annuity having had to be generated through the subscription of the school education contract during the lifetime of his parents, and from the moment the parent is affected by a total and permanent disability or on the verge of an early death, Prudential takes over in this adventure and reassures the children for him to reach his objectives.
Toujours quant à l'atteinte de son objectif.
Prudential Beneficial Insurance, during its Aspire ceremony, treated the students and children present at the event to interactive activities like workshops and discussions designed to inspire and equip young people to better prepare their future.
It's such an amazing opportunity that Beneficial Life Insurance is giving these children to get to know about financial literacy at a very tender age. It prepares a better future for them. So it's important for both parents and children to know that children need to know that they need to have a mastery on how they manage their finance.
The whole idea was the fact that learning from our stories and our best practices, inspiring them to know that you can actually be who you want to become, who you dream of.
Activities well appreciated by the participants.
I've been very inspired by the people who came to make us discover our mindset, our talents, and the things that we are capable of doing as we put efforts together. And I'm very appreciating Beneficial Life Insurance because they give us the opportunity to develop our skills and to know what we'll become tomorrow.
Present in 8 African countries, Prudential Beneficial Insurance is a joint venture between Beneficial Insurance Group and Prudential Corporation Asia. It is a leading provider of financial security and healthcare to over 18 million customers in 24 markets. Prudential Beneficial Insurance offers 2 main types of products, which are Prudential Life Insurance and Prudential General Insurance.
The other initiative which we put in place to make life easy for our customers, to facilitate the payment of their premiums, to facilitate even the way they receive payments from us. For example, we have the chatbot which we launched this year.
During the Aspire event, school kits and certificates were given to students, rewarding their efforts and creativity. This interactive session enabled parents to guide and inspire their children towards their future objective. Prudential Beneficial, for every life, for every future.
That's it for the first part of the news. Talking Point is up next. Tonight on Talking Point, we'll be discussing on a recent development as far as football is concerned in Cameroon. And as guest, I'll be having a sports analyst, Simon Mukete. Good evening, Mr. Simon Mukete. It's a pleasure having you on Talking Point tonight.
I'm happy to be as usual and to bring all the lights that we need concerning what is going on in our beautiful country, Cameroon.
Simon Mukete, after consultations with the Prime Minister, the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon have agreed to play at the Rumde Archer Stadium in Garwa come September 7th. For several months, the Lions have been standing on the side of the ministry, and within the space of 10 minutes with the minister, they were able to change their mind by accepting the decision of Fecafoot. What do you think about the sudden change in position?
First of all, they didn't accept the decision of the Fecafoot. I think the head of government, the Prime Minister, who is the head of the government, as I said, had to talk with the players to try to make sure that we avoid a very uncomfortable situation for Cameroon. I think that has been the priority, and that was a priority. And I think the government who is in charge of the country and had to go through what we say in French, raison d'etat. They had to do something to stop. It doesn't mean that all the mess that have been going on concerning football from the federation is okay. It's just that the government at one point had to talk to the players. The players, they sent out all their grievances. I mean, they told the PM why they don't agree with all what is going on today in Fecafoot. And the government assured them that it will be okay, and the players they accepted to go and play to defend Cameroon, because that's what is most important to them. They are not there to play for an individual, but definitely they have to be respected. They have to consider their positions. They have to know that they are adults. They also love this country like any of us, and they have always been present. They have always responded present whenever the nation needed them, like today, and they are going to give their best to make sure that we come out victorious in this very important encounter.
I'd like to know from you, during the meeting, the minister asked the players if they want the Namibians to obtain victory out of the pitch because of the conflict that has been going on for months, and the captain answered no. In your opinion, what do you think the players were respecting? Is it the orders of the Prime Minister, or they were just being patriotic?
I think the players are just being patriotic, and also, of course, they have to respect because they are with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is like a father. I mean, it's like the father, and he spoke to them like a father, first of all, and also spoke to them as the Prime Minister, head of government, and they understood that the image of the country is at stake. I can assure you that Fecafoot would have loved Cameroon to be eliminated, but the players, as patriotic as they are, they had to accept this option of going to play. But they also mention why they don't agree with all what is going on with this current executive of Fecafoot. So I think we have to praise the players. We have to praise the Prime Minister, head of government. We have to praise the position of the government. This does not change anything concerning the very irresponsible attitude coming from Fecafoot. I think today, what we can celebrate the very high spirit of patriotism of Captain Abubakar and all the national team for standing by the nation, because they are going to play they're not going to play for Fecafoot. They are going to play for Cameroonian. They are going to play for the government. They are going to play for Cameroonian people. So that is a priority today. We know that the national teams, the Cameroon national team, football team belongs to the nation, belongs to the people, belongs to the state. So it is very normal that they accept they accept to switch after this very, very respectful working session that they had with the Prime Minister, head of government.
Now, you just said Fecafoot would have loved that the national team be disqualified. But from what we saw on the ground, that was not the case. As we saw them taking measures, like we see the hotel at La Fallette, where they were planning to host these Lions. We equally saw them working with Brasseries pitch in Dokoti and to ensure that the game goes on hitch-free. Rather, what I can say is these players are the ones who are disrespecting the orders of their own federation. Do you think it's normal?
Yeah, it is. That's why that's why I talk about the very, very uncomfortable situation in which the national team has been managed. Remember, that's what pushed the head of state to after the 10th February speech, the famous 10th February speech to the youth. He had to talk about changing things completely because the players, you talk to them and they spoke to the PM. They spoke their heart to the PM, and the Prime Minister, head of government, listened to them, and also as a father, they understood. He understood why the players are not happy, why they're not comfortable. For the whole national team to turn their back on the president of Fecafoot, it means that there is a problem. I mean, you cannot say that he's on the right track and all the players are off track. It's not possible. Definitely there's a problem, and we will not get back to when the government have decided, when the PM decides we have to flow with the decision. That's how it works. We will not get back to the rules of CAF, why the rules were not respected. I think today the priority number one is for the players, as they have said, they want to go and play for the country, they want to go and play for Cameroonian people. That's a priority to them. A lot of stuff have been done to create a lot of traps to people. They wrote to their clubs to embarrass them that they should suspend them. I think it's not possible to do that kind of stuff. There have been no single negotiation from the federation to try to talk to the players. All what they have served to the players is brutality, is just anger, is just try to punishment, threatening. So I think today the position of the government represented by his top person, that's the Prime Minister, is a good thing today for us to bring down the temperature and to really move forward, and for Cameroonians to all mobilize completely behind our national team so that they can go and get this victory with their head coach Mark Brice.
You have been on the side of the Ministry of Sports and Physical Education, who has been insisting that the match be played at the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium in Yaoundé, whereas Fecafoot wanted it to be played in Garoua. Given the latest developments, do you feel defeated?
No, not at all. I think I defend the state. I've always been, to me, the government, the state is bigger than all of us. I mean, I cannot support individuals who are trying to destabilize the state. But as I said, I will not get to that. I think the priority today is for us to mobilize ourselves to support these boys so that they can go and get this victory. That's the most important thing. The Prime Minister, Chief Joseph Jongute, head of government, have spoken. I think all of us have to respect the decision of the government. I'm a legalist. The Republican Party is very important. When the state moves ahead, especially when the state is on hasn't done anything wrong and you're just trying to respect the rules and regulation of the Cameroon African Confederation. So, the Football Association of Africa. I think the most important thing for us today is the energy that we have to put, the positive energy that we have to put around the national team to try to push them so that they can go and get this victory, so that we can, we can come out victorious while taking our next trip to play out of Cameroon immediately.
Now, the Football Federation Fecafoot had earlier summoned the under-20 team and they were lodged at the La Fallette Hotel. The team were expected to replace the senior men's football team if they failed to show up in Garoua. According to the law governing FIFA and CAF, is there a possibility that the players of the junior team replace the senior team in case of absences?
And play in the national team. Even if a player is 17 years old, if he's called up to the national team, he can play for the national team. There's no, it's just a kind of a tricky move, and it's so sad that they have to do that because they never want to. You see, throughout this incident, it's only the government that have been on the front line to try to offer solutions. At the end of the day, FECAFOOT could not offer any solution because they never want to talk to these players. There have always been a lot of closed doors, a lot of just threatening them, and so there is no dialogue possible between FECAFOOT and the players. That's the truth. Because for them to turn their back away from FECAFOOT, from the president in particularly, it means that there is a serious problem. So that's why I'm very grateful that the Prime Minister, head of government, came in today with this very, very vital crisis meeting with the players. And today we can see that the players of Mark Brice have decided to go and play, and they are going to play, as they said, for the country, to defend the nation, to defend the Cameroonian people. I think that's the priority today. They have shown their limits so far as FECAFOOT is concerned. I really don't want to get into that because I feel so proud that the government of Cameroon have decided to give their possibilities to his sons to go out there and defend the nation together with Mark Brice and his team.
This last question. The National Sports Facilities and Equipment Board, known as ONIES, had earlier said that the Garwa Stadium wasn't available for that encounter. Now that the match will be played there, will this stadium be available now?
It's not a matter of being available. When the government takes a decision, the impossible must be done. Definitely, if they needed 50 personnel to work on that site, exceptionally, because it's an exceptional decision coming from the Prime Minister, head of government, they are going to put 1,000 persons there if it's going to pay. If that's what it takes. Remember, ONIES is being taken care of by the president. ONIES hasn't got any serious budget. It means that the government has to go extra hand now to make sure that everything is done there in respect to the rules and regulation of the Confederation of African Football, so far as organizing the qualifiers to the Morocco AFCON is concerned. So I think it's a decision coming from the head of the government. Definitely, despite the difficulties to put this in place, they are going to, if necessary, to increase the number of human resources to make sure that we get there today. It's an exceptional decision, and when it's an exceptional decision, exceptional things have to be done. So far as is the head of the government that have asked for it.
Simon Mukete, sports analyst, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. And that's it for this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your keen attention. Stay in the company of more interesting programs. Coming up next is Equinoxe. Stay with us.